Itty bitty, it the witty bitty, it the itty bitty puppy. It the witty bitty, it the itty bitty, it the witty bitty puppy. It the witty bitty, it the itty bitty, it the itty bitty puppy. Boom. I don't know why I just like to sing the puppy song whenever I talk about his book. Because them songs what made me and Puppy close, because when I sing them late at night, he run around, he jump up and down, stand on two legs. He just like that. It's about maybe 3 to 4 songs he like. And that is the book called Hish My Puppy. And it's a good grieving book. And it also show how smart dogs are. But before Puppy died, he did several remarkable things. Several remarkable things that I still don't believe to this day. And it just was amazing. My main worry with Puppy before he died, I took him to the vet. The bill was about $600 because they saw the connection. And they just as bad as a human house pillow, because all they try to do is get the highest amount of money. They saw the connection. Puppy in my arms like a baby because he was scared of the doctor. And they went to saying, we can make Puppy live longer. I said, how much longer? Oh, 3 months. It's a cost about $26,000, $15,000, $10,000. So I'm like, nah, I don't think so. He wouldn't want me to spend that money for him for 3 months, and this would be selfish on my end to prolong his life for my own gratification. Now he done let me know he didn't want y'all to put him to sleep. He wanted to die at home. I don't know, because some strange way. That's why I say this whole situation was amazing. And it was a lesson to me. And I finally realized what Mr. Clinton told me when he was going over my research. He said it's very important how you die, because you real history. And all the children around the world gonna hear your story someday. And if you die without fear, it will comfort children until eternity, because they see you was ready and not afraid. And I realized that years after Puppy died, it was a lesson to me without me even thinking about it. Because when Puppy died, before he died, I say, Puppy, thank you for teaching me how to face death. And then years later, I realized that was part of my journey. To do as President Clinton say, when you die, the world gonna be watching and reading about you. So you need to show no fear, to take away the fear of death from all children around the world. But for some strange reason, me and Puppy can read each other's mind. Before he died, like the last 6 weeks. I know he didn't want to eat dog food no more. And I did some research, and they say before a dog die, they stop eating dog food, which let me know that will kill him. That dangerous. Because These dogs are recognizing something in that food before they die. And they would not eat it no more to save your life. Puppy wouldn't eat none of that dog food. And the research I did say, because remember, I had to become a hospice caretaker, a caregiver, because the vets just wanted too much money. They even wanted $15,000 to kill and cremate Puppy. And they showed me vests. They were showing me vests. They say Puppy can be with you forever. You can cremate them and make jewelries, or you can put them in a vest and keep them in your house everywhere you go. How much the vest? Or they start at $1,200 on up. They can run up to $6,000. It's according to how much you love Puppy. So that's why I decided to be a hospice caretaker, because you plan on my grievance. Human is so evil. Everyone prey on you grievance. Your family members, your friends, everyone just prey on somebody who just lost a loved one. Because I think they figure at that moment is your weakest moment. Even when I was dying, half dead, people coming to me, what you gonna do with your house when you die? What you gonna do with your car when you die? My exes, how much money you got in the bank? What you gonna do with that property? And you sitting there barely living, and you just wondering what is this world have come to? But anyway, back to the Puppy story. So my biggest worry with Puppy was I was handicapped. I didn't work in 5 years. I had a walker. I couldn't walk an inch without that walker. But I didn't know whether or not could I still use a shovel. Now I had a friend who used to do all that for me named Basil. But remember, people are pure evil. And it's the people you help the most all your life. Some of these people I've been helping for 40 years. I pay their house payment. I make their car payment. And I tell them, hey, don't worry about paying me back, man. God will give it back to me. All these people turned their back on me when I became handicapped. But Basil always stood with me. But Basil didn't like Puppy. Because I told Basil, hey, man, you come around, check with me every day in case Puppy died, man, because I don't know whether or not I can bear him. Basil just disappeared with a funny smile on his face, a grin. And I ain't see Basil again. At first I thought he poisoned him because he the first one to know Puppy was sick before Puppy was even sick. And I asked the vet, they said they just see a black mass on the chest. And I say, could that be poison? They say it could be. But we see a black mass, we just automatically say cancer. They say yes, but it could be poison. Because Basil and Puppy got into it. Because Puppy never let Basil in the yard. You know. And Basil wanted to do his little, the little basin on the side of the house somewhere, So I was thinking Basil did it. But the thing about it, Basil wouldn't even show up to get that $50. Now a rockhead will bury a dog for $1. I offered Basil $50 if he buried a puppy when he died. Just check by every day, because I figured puppy was gonna die overnight, and you can bury it in the morning or whatever, when we wake up in the morning, puppy gonna be dead. Basil quit coming. He was just smiling, and he just quit coming. So I'm stuck worrying about night and day and night. What if Puppy died in the backyard? How am I gonna get him to bury him? Because by the time I make it to the backyard with that walker, I'm gonna be too tired to bury him. There ain't no chairs back there. But I wanna bury him in back of the sticker bush. because he lay in front of the sticker bush all day. But I can't bury him in the front because the sticker bush is along the fence. So I figured I'd drag Puppy out in the front yard in back of the sticker bush. Because, you know, it dirt in back of the sticker bush. Under the sticker bush, all dirt. So that way I figured I was going to bury Puppy. You know, somehow I'm going to have to drag Puppy. And I did some practice runs. I put him in a sheet. Because sometimes he go in the kitchen and he can't make it back to the living room. So I will put him in a sheet, you know, and drag the sheet. And it don't hurt him because the sheet is dragging. And I figured that the way I'd take him outside when he died, right? All these things I'm worried about. I'm also still worried about how the heck I'm going to dig that hole. Can I still use a shovel? I ain't used one in 5 years. Somehow I'm going to have to use the shovel and prep my body up with the walker. Because now I know 3 or 4 weeks done passed and Basil ain't been by. Basil normally be by every day, at least 6 to 10 times a day, sometimes 15. And now when I told him I need him to bury a puppy, he disappeared. Another person who I done helped at least 30 years. Give him what he wants. Give him money every week. Find a job for him to do. But now everyone can turn their back on me when I need them the most. After supporting them for over 40 years. So that's how life goes. And I tell this story to show everybody just how nasty humans are. I never hurt no one, never treated nobody wrong. By me being face to face with God and raised by an angel, I'd rather cheat myself than to cheat someone else. That's my motto. That's my motto. I lend people money, oh, you ain't got to pay me back. And that when I was working. But when I stopped working, I had no income. And these people had 2 and 3 jobs. They would still come to me every week. Hey man, let me borrow $100. And how can you lend money when you're not working? Remind you, these people are working 1 and 2 jobs, and they still coming to me like I'm working. It seemed like everybody I know got worse when it came to borrowing money when I stopped working. Everybody. It was like they didn't know I wasn't working. They didn't know I was handicapped. Every time they come, they'll say, let me borrow something. They don't ask me, do you need a ride to the doctor? Or do you need anything? Whenever you need something, let me know. Not one person on this planet. Not one. And I've been helping these people for 40 years. I've been hiring them on my job so they can continue to take care of their family. Every job I go on, I take a few of them. When they get behind on their house payment, I pay it. Car payment, I pay it. The repo man coming, I pay it. Rental center, I pay it. And I don't worry about them paying me back because I look at it as if help someone, you be rewarded. Take from someone, you lose 10 times more. That's the way I live my life. And it worked. The power of giving. When you give, you receive more. That's the universe. And a lot of people don't know that. And I ain't going to say who learned me that because this book here is a kid book. You know, and I ain't going to say who learned me that, but if you read some of my books, you'll see who learned me about that type of stuff. But anyway, that was my biggest worry. How I'm going to take Pup outside. How I'm going to bury Puppy. And at the time, I was reading research where experts were trying to determine whether or not do dogs know when death is about to come. And it was split 50-50. Some of the experts say they don't know. They just an animal. They don't know about death. But some of the experts say, oh, why, yes. Because most dogs go and hide and stay away from their families, human family. Because they don't want their human family to see them going through the death process. And I know that's true. Because every dog I had before they die, even if you don't know they sick, they go somewhere and hide, and then you go looking for them. You find them dead under one of the trees or dead in the bushes or somewhere, because they love their family, human family, so much they don't want them to see them die. And all my dogs hid before they die because they ain't want to see me in pain. So now, Puppy come to me one day, laid a head in my lap, and he walked toward the front door. He laid a head in my lap for 5 minutes, like a baby do. You know what I mean? Because they love their mother or father. He walked to the front door like we normally do. He had to pee, So I opened up the front door. I tried to help Puppy down the 3 steps. I normally carry him from the step to the ground. Puppy didn't want no help. And he shocked me. He walked down them steps as nothing was wrong with him. Then he cocked up his leg, released himself, But instead of coming back in the house like he used to, he walked towards the gates, the front gate. And I'm like, well, Puppy must be feeling better, because he walking toward the front gate instead of coming in the house. Puppy went along the edge of the sticker bush where I was thinking in my mind, where I'm going to bury him, because he always be in the front of it. But I was going to bury him in the back of that pepper bush. Puppy dropped. Puppy was dead. I prayed and thank God for letting it be cool, because it was in October. I grabbed the shepherd because I didn't want nobody to see my baby at his lowest moment. Nobody. And I do the same thing with human. I don't want nobody to see my family member or friend in their lowest moment. So the whole while they sick, I cater to them, because I don't want nobody else to see them at their lowest moment. And I don't want nobody to see me at my lowest moment. Just let me and the nurse, the hell with the doctor, just me and the nurse, so she can send me on home. You know what I'm saying? So I grabbed the shovel and a walker. It felt awkward trying to walk with that shovel. And I'm still wondering, can I do this? I get to the pepper bush. It's a grave dog. I said, it can't be. So all I had to do was push Puppy an inch, and he fell in a grave. And it was dirt around the grave, so I didn't have to do no digging and very little pushing. It took me 1 minute and 30 seconds to bury Puppy, because all the dirt was right there, but it was under the tree edge. So when people come through the gate, they can't see the hole being dug. You got to go right up to it to see it. You can't see it because the tree was covering it. The only reason I saw it, because I was going to dig there and the hole was already there. I was going to dig along the edge of the bush. The hole was there. So now I'm thinking, it's crazy. How did Puppy know where I was going to bury him? How did Puppy know my main worries were how I'm going to get him to the grave to bury him? But like I say, the last couple of weeks, we were, we had this little ESP thing going on where we can read each other's thoughts. But I didn't realize that angels was involved until the angel brought Puppy back to give me one last hug goodbye. But dogs are remarkable, because how did that dog know exactly what I was worried about? How did that dog know, well, David handicapped, so I got to dig the grave? And the only time he could have dug that grave was 6 to 8 weeks before he got sick. Because after Puppy got sick, he stayed in the house 6 to 8 weeks. I mean 6 weeks, not 8. But he had to dug that hole like 8 to 6 weeks. But once Puppy got sick, Puppy couldn't go outside no play no more. He go outside and use the bathroom, and sometimes I let him go out there in that sun, but he was too weak. Because most of the time I have to carry him back in the house. So anybody who got questions about a dog don't know when they gonna die, read HisMahPuppy at davidjstub.com. Thank you, and God bless.